One of our subjects for this month is vibrations. And in Transcendental Meditation, they would call it reverberations of consciousness. So there are these energy fields that emanate from everything. And some people are much more sensitive to feeling them than others. Like an example of that is that I went recently for my birthday to a couple of days retreat at St. Anthony's facility in Three Rivers. And before I went, I had talked to our co-pastor, Sandy West, and she said, be sure and go in the chapel and find this box that has, what do you call it, a relic in it. And that would be like a piece of something from Jesus or something very valuable. So I went in this chapel and I found this really nice box, and I put my hands on the box and I didn't get anything. Sandy says she gets a lot of vibration from it, and I didn't get anything, but I sure did like that box. And then another example, that turned out a little differently, is that Maggie had come into Fresno and she was staying at a hotel out of the airport because she was going to go the next morning on her vacation. And so we wanted to have dinner together, and so we looked to see where was a restaurant between her hotel and my house. And we found this little Oriental restaurant. And when I drove into that parking lot, I had this feeling very, very clear, this was not a good place to be. And I ignored it and thought, oh, we went to all this trouble to figure out where we're going to eat together, and And so Maggie came and we had dinner, and we were there about 6 o'clock in the evening, and it was a fairly large restaurant. And during that time, which was probably from 6 to 8, nobody came in that restaurant except us. That probably should have told us something. So that night when I went to sleep, I didn't feel good all night. And the next morning, I was really sick. So I felt the vibrations, but I didn't do anything about it. But then on the more successful side, I had some people working at my house fairly recently, and one person who was traveling with them told me later that these people had been having a lot of trouble getting along. They were kind of at each other's throats and arguing and that kind of thing. But that as soon as they got to the house, everything just totally smoothed out. And they cooperated with each other and got along for the whole rest of the day. And I know what that is. It's the vibrations from the meditation that has been done in that house for probably 40 years. And there's a name for it. It's called sattva. And it sinks itself into the walls and into the furniture so that you experience that still. And in fact, a lot of people, when they come in the house, they feel like falling asleep. And then another confirmation of that was I had a couple of painters at the house. There's this grandfather and his grandson, and the second day they were there, the grandson said, I said to my grandfather, there's something about that lady and something about that house. He said, I feel really safe and really peaceful here. So it's that same reverberations of consciousness from that. And then this one is probably off the subject because it's not a matter of feeling, it's a matter of seeing. But I just read the other day that if you get Botox injections, it can kind of freeze the expression on your face. And that babies read that expression on the face, and that's how they bond with you. So it's probably a good thing that anyone young enough to have a baby is too young to have Botox.